Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. We're hunting on Facebook Marketplace today, and who knows what we're gonna find. In order to access this marketplace, you have to have a Facebook account. It has to be so many months old too, but on your main page here, there's a little thing that says Marketplace. I only learned about this about a year ago, but it's essentially Craigslist, but you kind of know who you're dealing with because you can look at their profile and stuff. So it's got a little bit more safety in that aspect, but it's still all as-is sales. You can buy anything from a car to a stove. I mean, as you can see, even hedge trimmers. So I usually just do the search for guitar, but you can also come over here to your categories and select where you want to look in, as well as the mile radius in between there. But since there isn't one necessarily for musical instruments, I just usually search for what I'm looking for, like guitar. So if you're ever listing on these things, put guitar in your title. For example, here's mine, a 1980s Fender acoustic guitar. Even if I'm trying to sell a Gibson locally, I will say Gibson Les Paul guitar because some people will search like this. So when I tell you my market is bare here in Bryan, yeah, this is what we got to choose from. We get a Resonator steel guitar. I think they meant resonator, unless that's something I'm not aware of. Looks like we got some, oh, I thought that was a fishing tackle box. It's thumb picks, okay. And that looks like a slide right there. But they don't tell you the brand, so maybe it's Resonator as the brand. I don't know. Yeah. Now this Stratocaster has been tempting me because my name's Austin. There is a guitar brand named Austin, and I just thought it'd be kind of a fun thing to have that guitar. These are just cheap little Strat knockoffs. They're not worth much. It appears to be in some sort of a pawn shop. There's only a few of those within my town. I can't really quite place where this one's at. But for 95 bucks, I thought it'd be kind of a fun undercover shopping video where I go try to haggle this down really cheap or tell them, that's my guitar. Yeah, other than that, it just seems a couple other Strat copies and acoustics. We don't got much going on here in my town. But if we open up our radius here to 100 miles, what can we find? Ooh. That looks like an old Epiphone guitar in Auburn, Indiana. Folk guitar in good condition, just have no need for it anymore. I have no idea what that is, but it looks like at least 70s in vintage. That's the thing, when you're not an expert on some of these guitars, you don't know what it is because half these people don't even know what they're selling. But that definitely looks old to me. I would guess it's a 70s one. Jeez, these things actually command quite a price. It looks similar, but that E's larger. And we don't have the mother of pearl headstock. Or do we? Oh wow, bolt-on neck? We don't have enough photos to determine if that's also a bolt-on. You can see there is a tag in there. That one might actually be worth digging into. That could be a gold mine right there. Then you have ones like these that are set neck but made in Japan. Listing at $400. Maybe someone who's a little bit more learned on these old Epiphone guitars can fill me in on that. That seems like it might be an okay price. I don't normally like dealing with vintage acoustics anyways because they usually need some sort of work that I cannot give to them. Got some interesting Court guitars here in a PV International series. That is a freaky looking bass. It's got those really long extended horns there. That's up in Hillsdale. Doesn't look like we have anything on Reverb for him. And no sold listings. Isn't it spelled PV with an E? Yeah, there we go. It's spelled with an E. That's why it wasn't showing up. I think that's something Reverb needs to work on. So if anybody working at Reverb, if you're watching this, maybe get with somebody to do a "did you mean this" like Google does, because that happens all the time and people don't find what they're looking for, because they'll just accidentally misspell it. So here we go. Yeah, it looks like 125 bucks. That's probably top asking price. So yeah, not necessarily a deal there. There's another vintage Epiphone. This guy seems to want a lot more. I guess we'll go ahead and inquire about this one just in case. Moving on here, got some junky guitars, more acoustics, anything interesting in the electric world. That's interesting. Relic style Esquire. Well, it seems like they have a decent pickup in there. It's kind of a interesting name there. I like the neck. It's got some decent figuring to it. I like the body as well. Looks like they sanded off the finish on the neck so it'd play a little bit smoother. Not necessarily the type of guitar I would buy. I'm not big into parts casters because you never know where those parts actually came from. Ooh, Gibson SG Standard in Fort Wayne. You can usually find some decent stuff within Fort Wayne because that's right where Sweetwater is, as well as Guitar Centers. So there's definitely a market within that area. So 2011 Gibson SG with hardshell case. Upgraded bone nut with strap locks. Open to trades. That reminds me of the SG Celebrity series. Honestly, $850 is not a bad price on this. I'd probably be willing to pay about $600 because that's probably what I would want to sell it for. Not a bad deal if you're in the Fort Wayne area. But you always got to be careful buying stuff locally and as is because that's where a lot of issues guitars get dumped. So always definitely look over that stuff or take someone that you trust that knows guitars if you're doing that. So here it looks like most of these other ones want a little over $1,000. I'm going to tell you right now that those are inflated prices. Not many people pay that much for them. $900's about top dollar, but I could see that one selling for about $1,000 on Reverb, especially since it has a case. I'm just adverse to driving, so I don't normally take these deals. Ooh, Customer 24 SE Paul Reed Smith. You gotta love those typos. Has a hard shell case and a few soft cases. Seriously? Why do people only put one photo? Like, it doesn't even have the headstock in it. It could be a fake PRS SE. That almost looks like one of the Sweetwater ones that retails for like $700. We did a review on something very similar to that, so that could potentially be a good deal. ESP EC1000. Now this is the first one that's really caught my eye as something I could potentially want. Kramer Striker 2 Hardtail Trade. Will trade for an LP style guitar. So sometimes it's confusing. Will he take $200 or is that just a placeholder thing? That looks pretty good for the price. I mean, you get the HSS pickup configuration. Looks like at least a 2-piece veneered top. I really like the inlays on that. Reminds me of an Ibanez Gem. Let's see how much these guys go for on Reverb. About $200, so not a deal there, but a really cool guitar. My wife actually sent me this one, thinking it was something special. Ibanez Iceman, definitely a cool guitar, so is the Fireman. But I don't really want a copy kit guitar. We got the scarf joint there. What really kicked this one is it doesn't even look like the neck is set in right and the pickups appear to be all whopper jawed there. You see what I'm talking about? It's completely crooked. They didn't do such a good job building that one, sorry. But this one, it's interesting. Is this one of those sandblasted Stratocasters? Yep. So I've got an American-made, the blue one that I still have to do, but I think this one was part of the lower end line. Double string tree, you got the walnut there, so I think we're safe. Whoa, made in USA 2014. What is he asking for that? Ooh, $700. Update, everyone is messaging me about the Strat, so I'm firm at $700. And he only listed it a day ago. I think that's a steal of a deal, is it not? Crimson Sandblasted. Let's take a look. I think it'd be fun to find a guitar like this and then take you guys on a trip with me. We take a look at the town, meet up with the guys, see what's going on. I guess not. Maybe people don't like those as much as I thought. So $700 seems to be about what they sell for. It might just be one of those things that they're kind of hard to find. But it looks like I could probably get as high as $1,000 to somebody who really, really wants it. That's surprising you can get a USA Stratocaster for that cheap. Because I'm used to buying all the new guitars, and these made in Mexico things are like $1,300 nowadays. It's quite expensive. Sometimes you can get people to ship on these, sometimes you can't. Here's kind of a cool Fender Telecaster. So this is one of those set neck Telecasters that has the comfort carve right there too. $400. Seems like a decent price. I love the neck on that. Looks like it was made in Indonesia, but honestly, I don't even care. Yeah, that seems to be a pretty good deal if you're in that area. Most of them are listed between that $400 to $500 range. So take that, talk them down to $300, $350. I think you'd be very happy with that. That's in Fostoria. That's about an hour and a half away from me. That's actually where that Les Paul KM came from. But it looks like this one also has updated electronics too. Yeah, that's definitely a deal for somebody. Somebody needs to pick that thing up. Ooh, a John 5 Squire. That's a freaky Telecaster. So 2 humbuckers, but you still have the Tele bridge plate. That's interesting. That one's up in Fort Wayne. Oh, here's a Smartwood Les Paul. $700 on that. Not bad, especially since it still has the original case. I actually bought one of these in Fort Wayne once. But what I don't like is, once again, only one photo. But it is the version that has the gummy truss rod cover. Those things are funny. They're like little gel stickers. And you have the mother of pearl Gibson logo. It looks like it's only about a half-hour drive for me, too. So, yeah, so that's the Gibson Les Paul Smartwood Studio. I sold my last one for $865 with the original case. So it's not quite a steal, but you can tell it's not quite the same one either. But I definitely like the top on this one a little bit better. I betcha I can get that. Ooh, one of the Epiphone SLs. I think that's what it's called. I need the money and have like 6 guitars. Price is negotiable, need gone hopefully today. And most likely can drive to you or meet somewhere. Stolen guitars, perhaps? Well, the Epiphone SL, not worth that much. Yeah, looks like brand new was $140. Used about 100, maybe $50. I think that's even a little bit too generous. Synsonics guitar with stand. What is this? That is terrible lighting. It looks like it's definitely overseas made. I'm going to have to look this thing up. I'm definitely not going to drive to Ypsilanti, but if somebody's around there, good to know if there's a deal. What are these things if they're that cheap? Synsonics Terminator, 1987. So it kind of reminds me of those like really cheap Tiescos, or however you pronounce them, where they're not very good guitars, but certain people have like a, I love these because they're my childhood affiliation with them. But this one appears to have a built-in speaker. Oh, now I can see it. Yeah, this one has a built-in speaker too. $50. If I was local, I think I would just have to pick this up for a fun review and demo. I don't think I'd really be making money on it, but somebody might like the video. I bet that amp sounds like absolute trash. That's kind of a cool midnight wine made in Mexico Fender Stratocaster. Oh, used guitars. That usually means it's a shop list in this stuff. Let me see your used guitars. So J. Truzer or something like that. Those are like really cool looking guitars that are super cheap on eBay. Their most famous one is that Shark guitar. I would love to have one of those. Yeah, it doesn't look like we've got anything going on here. And as far as results outside of our range, looks like a BC Rich type thing here. Whoa! Oh, Daisy guitars. I'm really hunting for the Powerpuff Girls heart guitar that Daisy Rock did. They're like super limited edition. I think it would just be a funny guitar, but they're super rare. They don't sell for a ton. It reminds me of a full-bodied Gibson. I forget which one it is. It's a hollow body, but this one not being hollow-bodied. It comes with an amp. Single thing. What is the brand? Delente by Daisy Rock. So, yeah, it's not boding too well for this. Any type of guitar that comes with an amp, it's going to get you by, but it's definitely not a high-quality guitar. Hey, here's a Glary. You can tell by just the way it looks. Electric guitar taken out of box to take pictures. Yeah, there we go. Glary. Somebody's trying to do a Trade Tuesday here. That has some character to it. It reminds me of, is it the D35? Is that what Kurt Cobain used? You can check out this video for sure. A D Armand pickup. K is one of those old brands. They don't always have the best guitars in the world, but that looks pretty fancy. The value is in the D Armand pickup. Guitar needs work. That's one that's like a really cool display piece. You just hang it up on your wall because that does look pretty cool. It's a strangely, oddly shaped thing. Kind of reminds me of a guild. But I like the Batwing cape style pickguard. Certainly we can find something a little bit more interesting here. One last cool one to end out the episode. Maybe we'll do 2 more. That's a pretty cool looking guitar body for a custom build for someone. I like the wood grain on that. What is it? Figured walnut. So you can make a really cool The Paul. Alright, we'll end it off with this. Apparently we're in Philadelphia as well as New York territory now. Jeez. How cool is that thing looking? Vintage guitar amplifier rare. 1968 Gretsch 7154. Solid state, so I'm not necessarily interested, but there are some cool solid state amps. I like the Gibson Lab series from the 70s. I had one of those. Probably should have kept it, but somebody wanted it enough to purchase it. And to end it out today, 1962 National Studio 66. Just out of curiosity, what do these things actually sell for? Looks like there's one for about $1,300. What are our actual solds? $800, $850, $900. That tells me this is a pretty solid $600 to $900 guitar. You can ask more, but you're likely not going to get it. Jeez! 18? Where's this guy getting 18? Even a dealer in excellent condition was, oh, that was 5 years ago. Sometimes the market does go up. It's kind of interesting. So you got the Rezo glass body, and it is a 60s instrument. I don't know how I feel about that. It reminds me of like a bird's beak. The way that the pickup is mounted or whatever that is. And then you got like a witch hat on top of it. It definitely has an interesting vibe to it, even with the trapeze tailpiece. So I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at my local Facebook marketplace. Is there an area you would like me to search for our next Facebook searching? I try to take these guitar searchings in anywhere that you could go, so if you have another location you'd like me to hunt at, let me know. We've done auctions, we've done Facebook Marketplace, we've done Reverb, we've done eBay. Besides Craigslist, I think it's just taking this thing on the road. So thank you, Troglodytes, for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.